It's my buddy and yours, Sarah Silverman.
So today we're going to get some life advice from my dad. I'm going to find common ground in one of the reddest counties in Texas. I'll interview the brilliant DeRay McKesson, and of course we'll end the show with a prayer. But first, before we get started, you remember this guy. He's our special security blanket, the white man at a desk, Mather.
Sarah!
Isn't he great? If you weren't here last week, what it is we go to Mather if the show gets to be a little much and we need that reassuring comfort of a traditional late-night talk show host. So say we're mid-show and I'm talking about a cummy seahorse with floppy pussy lips. We have Mather.
So that just happened.
Brings us back to normalcy. It's good, right? It's like I never just said floppy pussy lips. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and claim I never did. I never said floppy pussy lips, and frankly, I'm disgusted by the accusation. Yeah. That's good. That's the point of this monologue, really. It's that we don't know what is true anymore. The truth has become, subjective. I mean, remember when truth was facts? Wasn't that fun? How are we going to heal this divided country if we can't even agree on what is true? It's the Red Sox and the Yankees, right? If you're from Boston, even if the Yankees had the best record in all of baseball, your truth is that the Yankees suck. Which is true, they fucking suck, right? But hey, a Red Sox fan is just a Yankees fan who happened to be born in Boston. Make no mistake, it is location-based. It's teams, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's sports, that's fine, it's adorable. But that same kind of blind allegiance has infiltrated our government. It's party over country. It's party over everything. It's party over tenets of your own party, right? I mean, Obama did stuff in his presidency that should have had Republicans jizzing rainbows. Truly. He fucking murdered Osama bin Laden. Yeah. He took out several known terrorists with drones, and I didn't even know this until about a month ago, but it turns out he deported more immigrants than any other president. Now, that's something for me to reconcile. I don't know how I feel about it, but I sure as hell know how Republicans should feel about it. They should be creaming their khakis. But no, they still say Obama was weak on terror and immigration because they're the Red Sox and Obama was the Yankees, and there's nothing a Yankee can do that the Red Sox won't hate, and that is that. People cling to the truths that they know. And that's because, changing your mind can feel scary. But you've all done it. Remember when you believed in Santa Claus and then one day you didn't believe in Santa Claus anymore? You did great. You did. You got new information and you let it change you. Or remember 20 years ago when we were all walking around like, Princess Diana's totally alive? You could never say that today. There was even a time when I believed that I would go blind if I masturbated, which, of course, I have since disproved time and time and time and time and time again, furiously.
Too fast, too furious.
Even the happiest people masturbate furiously, I'd say. And that is a fact. That's a fact. Opening up to change is scary. It's so scary that people will use the lamest excuses to avoid it. They'll say, I'm too old, or it's how I was raised, or I'm blind due to masturbation.
Or the classic, it's God's will.
God?
Thought maybe I could help you out with some absolute truths.
Yes, amazing. Yes, please.
13 billion years ago, I created the universe. In a vast cosmos of space and time, your planet is one of trillions.
We're so tiny and insignificant, and yet you still care about us.
Of course. I care about how you treat each other, your purity of heart, your kindness, and I will send you to hell for eternity if you murder, steal, do guy-on-guy butt sex.
Wait,
Covet
what?
time. What?
That's true. You really put people in hell for eternity if they put their penis in an anus.
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? I cannot believe that you...
Sarah, take a chill pill. I'm kidding. I created gay people.
Oh, phew. You got me. You're a real son of a gun, God.
Call me Allah.
Okay, Allah. Oh, Allah. Oh, Allah. Well. Hey, everyone frantically typing emails about how I'm once again disrespecting the Christian God. Guess what, motherfuckers?
We here at the show would like to apologize for the blasphemous comments and language Sarah used just a few moments ago regarding religion. That is just not what our show is about.
Yeah, it is. Trust me, this is my show. Mather is just a soap-selling trope that I made up. I know what this show is.
How dare you? You don't know me, ma'am.
Oh, really? I don't? I created you. I wrote your last line. I write all the dumb shit you say.
Well, then I guess I'm just a puppet on a string. Come, ye seahorse. Come here. See the horse.
Now I feel bad. Mather, I'm sorry. Look, you're great. You serve such an important role on this show. I need ya. Hey, I know. We've got a video to throw to, the one with my dad. Why don't you introduce it?
Do I have a choice?
Of course you do. Come on, buddy. This is what you do.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some words of wisdom from Sarah's dad, Donald Silverman, in a segment we call Poolside with Schleppy. Let's take a look.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, gang. I'm happy to be here. Somewhat.
What would you warn someone about who's about to have their first child?
Start with your second. Why do people hate Jews? I hate some Jews, but not because they're Jewish. Because they're from New York and they're pushy. Kyle? Oh, Kyle? After you die, I think it's the same as what I recall before I was born. And I don't recall a fucking thing before I was born.
Ooh. How do you think the universe was created?
Compared to my existence right here with my 4 daughters and my wife and my 5 grandchildren, a couple of friends, who gives a shit where the universe came is here? What a stupid fucking question. Love the shit out of them and try. Just try to do your best and never put them down, which in Sarah's case is a difficult thing not to do because she's so bad.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
The meaning of life is, it beats the shit out of me. Goodbye, it's been wonderful chatting with you. I have to be going now.
Look at him go! We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know, one of my goals on this show is to find something in common with people outside my little bubble. And this week I'm headed to a random city in America to do just that. Now, I want to be spontaneous, so to decide where to go, I'm going to throw this dart at a map and see where fate takes me. Totally random city in America. Here we go. Wow, Minneola, Texas. I'm in Minneola, Texas, the mini areola of Texas, where 87% of the people voted for Trump. I'm here to meet the locals and see if we can find some common ground and undivide ourselves. Thank you for having me. You guys are firemen. Do you guys all own guns?
Yes.
You're not feeling like a stand your groundiness with me right now, are you?
No, not by any means.
Obvious question. Who did you vote for and why?
I voted for Trump. Why? I just knew that it was somebody different than what we've had before.
And you voted for Trump, right?
Yeah.
What did you like about him?
Obviously, he's done well business-wise.
Gay marriage. Who's for it? Interesting. You guys, not for it. Go on.
Not something I really care one way or another. That's what happens.
Then you are for it.
I'm not for or against it. Doesn't matter to me.
How about you, Dal?
Not for it or against it. Haven't got a horse in that race, so to speak.
Would you speak out for somebody's right to get married if they're gay?
I don't know that I'd speak out, as I've sat here quietly through most of this.
It doesn't affect your own sexuality
No, it does not.
in any way.
No, not anymore.
So who gives a fuck?
The people that are doing whatever they're doing, they have to answer to their higher power, whatever they think that may be.
If Jesus came back,
Yeah.
because he's coming back, do you think you would believe him that he was Jesus?
If you believe in it, you'll know.
You think you'll know?
I will know.
I'm Jesus.
No, you're not.
Do you believe in climate change?
I'm in the oil and gas business.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so anybody out there that doesn't particularly care for drilling or fracking or things like that, understandable. I believe the climate has been changing since the Earth was formed. Yes.
Do you think that it's man-made at all?
I have no scientific background myself to make that decision. I don't know.
You ever hear of Google?
That's naive. Let's think that we can have that kind of impact on such a large space.
97% of scientists say that climate change is real and is an imminent threat.
It is going to change, but I don't think it's because of my lawnmower.
All right. Anyone else have anything to add before I move on?
I totally agree with that. It's a cycle of nature. It's been going on for millions of years.
We've talked about blue states. We've talked about red states. Let's talk about brown states. Have you all ever shit your pants? That's so awful. I'm sorry, that's so rude. I'm in the South. Have y'all ever shit your pants?
I got one. I met a guy. We dated 2 times. And we're going to the grocery store, and I'm going in to get bread, and I come back out, and he's gone. It's like 100 degrees outside, and my date is gone. Next thing I know, his sister pulls up. And I'm like, where's Kevin? She goes, he shit his pants. And I was like, what? Anyways, I ended up marrying him, having 2 kids.
Oh my
And I had
God.
so many poop stories about his 2 children, because DNA is very strong.
So this date shit his pants, and you were like, this is the one.
I was in bed, and you have that dream where you think you're on the bathroom, and you're not.
Shitting dream?
You know how you dream that you're on the toilet?
Yeah, peeing.
Well, it's the same scroll.
It must have been a real mislead. Like you went, oh, it was just a dream. Oh, no, I shit myself.
I have a long line of poopers. They have slid in their poop. They have wiped poop over each other. They've pooped out of trees. They have pooped on each other.
Out of trees?
Mine's put me through it.
It just happened, and there I was. And I was wearing a dress, so I had a thong on. And
Oh, God.
so then you're
Just
like, what are you?
split down the middle.
I drove to Beaumont, Texas from College Station, where I was working at the time, and I didn't make it.
That's the whole ending. You just shit your pants.
It wasn't me. I'll preface with that.
Oh, he's having a friend.
Talking for a
A friend of mine's vacation was ruined. He was standing in front of the mirror shaving and decided he would just let one go. Needless to say, it was solid. Not just, so as he clinched, he threw his back out and ruined the rest of his vacation because he could not stand up straight or hardly walk.
You back okay now? On my way home from college and stopped at PF Chang's to get something to eat. Driving home on I-20 and I had a flat tire, so I pull over to change the tire and start jacking the car up, and I think I struggled too hard when I pushed one down and pushed one out, I guess, and was completely just annihilated. I mean, I couldn't even wear the pants home.
This segment was not sponsored by PF Chang's. Don't think of the name PF Chang's. When you have diarrhea, we would get sued. So diarrhea, PF Chang's, no. Well, we've run the gamut. Politics, shitting, human rights.
Which is all tied together, really, if you think about it.
It really is. We're all connected. And you guys are now liberal Democrats. I just made it happen. And I'm Jesus. and then just make me disappear in a cloud of smoke, or just play me saying this, and it will be embarrassing. I came here to try to connect with people who maybe think differently than me, and, we all are the same, really. We all love our families. We all care about our friends, and we all have humiliating stories that involve shitting.
Absolutely.
As you know, this season I'll be interviewing people who've experienced change. My next guest is a public school educator who, after the fatal shooting of an unarmed Michael Brown, was moved to join the Black Lives Matter movement and become a civil rights activist. Please welcome DeRay McKesson. Friend. So 3 years ago, a protest broke out in Ferguson. You were in Minneapolis at the time, and you decided you're going to drive 9 hours to Ferguson, join that protest, and take us through it.
Yeah, so Mike got killed on August 9th, and I was sitting on my couch on August 16th, and I saw what was happening on CNN, I saw what was happening on Twitter, and they were just two completely different stories. And I believed the people on Twitter more than I believed what was happening on CNN. So I got in my car, I drove 9 hours, I put a Facebook message up that said, I'm going to St. Louis, I'm going to Missouri, I don't know anybody in the state of Missouri, I hope that somebody can help me find a place to sleep. And then I just got in the car. I got tired though, and I ended up in Iowa in the middle of the night, and I pulled up in front of a church and just went to sleep. I put some clothes over my head, got back up, and I ended up in the street. And that was my story. That was how I got in the street.
Wow, that's amazing. So Black Lives Matter is, by design, a leaderless group. And because of that, I think that when there's not one voice, the downfall of that, maybe a little bit, downfall is too strong a word, Sarah, but one thing about it is that it can get a little ambiguous what the cause is or what the causes are. Now, if you were sitting with someone who didn't know the tenets of Black Lives Matter, what would you tell them?
So we think about the movement just like we think about the civil rights movement, right? Not tethered to any one group, but there's so many people doing incredible work. And we also think about this actually as leaderful, that there are so many leaders at every level. They're leaders in classrooms, they're leaders at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level, and that we've created a space where people can lead wherever they are. So you don't need one messianic leader, no Messiah here, that we are empowering people to lead wherever they are. When we think about what empowerment means, it's I can't actually give you power. What I can do is help you unlock the power that you already have. And that's what the movement is about. So when we think about the core tenets, it's the difference between equality and equity. So equality is everybody gets the same thing. Equity is people get what they need and deserve. And that we are always fighting for equity. That the end of racism is about equity. The end of sexism is about equity. The end of patriarchy is about equity. This is always a fight about equity.
Yeah. Wow. So what is the value of protest?
Yeah, I think about in those early days, I'll never forget getting tear gassed the very first time. And in that moment, I was just America has to be better than this. So I think about protest as telling the truth in public, that we use our bodies to tell the truth, that Mike and Rakia and Ayanna and so many other people should be alive, that we disrupt board meetings and commissions to tell the truth, that they aren't using their power in ways that benefit the lives of people of color. So, we can't fix what we don't talk about, and protest forces us to talk about these issues.
Yeah, it's always bizarre to me when people decide to not take in the spirit of the protest, the reason for the protest. They need to understand it as something else to go along with the narrative that this protest isn't okay,
Yeah, and we shouldn't have to protest, right? I'm the first person. We should, if voting had changed everything, we would have voted, and that would have made it all better. If calling people, if all those things were the way to make change, we wouldn't have been in the street. But the reality is we tried everything else, and it didn't work. So we took to the street to force people to engage with us.
Yeah, I think social media has been incredible for that as well. You've called Twitter where the revolution is, right?
Yeah, I think about Twitter as the friend that's always awake, I'm tweeting about, I need toothpaste and Trump is wild, right? Both of those things are true.
I know.
And that's what I'd tell my friend if my friend was right here.
So you're very powerful on Twitter. You have a great voice, but you're not the only powerful voice on Twitter. There is also your vest, which also has its own account.
It does.
DeRay's Vest is an account on Twitter. I would like to say it's probably at DeRay's Vest.
It is.
Big question here. Do you share the same political views as your vest?
I do. Now, the vest is a little snippy sometimes. I don't run the vest account. I didn't start the vest account. I think the vest account is funny, but people think that it's me. So the vest will say snippy things to people, and they're I can't believe you insulted me. And it's I didn't do that, Or
you're Vest, you have to be nicer.
Literally, I'm DMing the vest, please stop. Just chill out. Stop snapping at people. I get it, but calm down.
I love that you're DMing the vest.
Whoever runs it is hilarious, but sometimes it is like a lot. I'm like, okay, chill out.
Okay, so you're really a beautiful speaker, and I would love to know how you would approach communicating with unlike-minded people in a way where we can really hear each other.
I think some of it is making sure that you're asking more questions than you're done talking, so that you understand like the point of view that the other person is bringing. And the other is making sure that they're doing the cognitive work, right? So people ask me, like police officers will say to me, well, under what circumstances should the police be able to kill somebody, right? And I'll say to them, like, when can the police kill your child? And then they're like, I don't know. It's like, well, I don't know either, right? And I'm trying to get them to work through this too. I'm trying to hear them process because we just don't approach the problem at the same way. And because I think I'm right about some of these issues, I don't need to preach at them. I need to understand where they're coming from. And that can only happen when they're actually doing more of the processing work.
Wow, yeah, that's communication. Yeah. It's communication. If it's mentionable, it's manageable, as Mr. Rogers once said. You have a brilliant podcast. It's called Pod Save the People. You talk about the steps that each of us can take to make a difference, so take us through that.
I think one is start where you are, right? That like Harriet Tubman didn't call me and tell me to be an organizer. Like I saw a problem, drove to St. Louis because I thought I could do something about it, and like I started. I like did exactly what I thought I could do, knowing that like this always starts out small. Like people, you know, I had 800 followers when the protest started. I have almost 1 million now, and like I started out small. The third thing would be learn a problem and learn it well. So the more proximity that you can have to a problem, like, so if you care about reading, you should actually like see a kid learn how to read. If you care about criminal justice, you should try and do a ride along or like visit a jail or do whatever you can to get as close as possible to the problem, read about it. There are a lot of people whose hearts are in the right place, but they actually like aren't close to the problem in any way. And like, you gotta be close to it if you're trying to make a difference. And the fourth is that you gotta have hope. And there's a difference between hope as magic and hope as work. Hope as magic like doesn't actually mean anything, but hope as work. Like we know our tomorrows can be better than our todays because people like work to make it happen, and that's what gets us through.
DeRay, thank you so much.
So good to be here.
Good night, McCaffrey, everybody. I cannot believe the show is already over. That went so fast. It's already time to say my prayers. Dear God, I don't believe in. Thanks for blessing me with a great show, a great interview, perfect skin, and my really great white man at a desk.
You know, Sarah, it really hurts my feelings when you say you don't believe in me. You created the white man at a desk. I bet it would really hurt your feelings if he didn't believe in you.
No, of course Mather believes in me. I made him up. I write everything he thinks and says.
I don't know what's real anymore.
Be careful, Sarah. Remember, even though I'm not part of your truth, I'm part of someone else's. That's something I learned from your monologue.
You listen to my monologue?
I listened to all my creations' monologue, Sarah. Now, what was it you wanted to tell me?
Oh, I guess I just wanted to say that I'm sorry I still don't believe in you. It's nothing personal. I think that humans probably made you up to understand what is beyond our comprehension, to impose meaning on a seemingly cruel and random universe, and, of course, to stop us from furiously masturbating.
I love it when you masturbate, Sarah. That's why I created it.
You watch me masturbate?
Yeah, I watch you masturbate, yeah. I watch all my creations masturbate.
Oh.
Ooh, speaking of masturbation, gotta go. 3 words, Dame Judi Dench, bye.
That's 4 words. Is he in a car? Good night, America. I love you.
Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody gets diarrhea sometime or another. Well, there was a bonfire on the beach and it got very dark. It's kind of a gross type of story. And I really had to let loose, so I kind of meandered off and I pulled down my britches and dropped it into the sand. And then I felt, oh my God, I put my pants on, it's going to be disgusting. But I put my pants on and God, we took a bus back to the kibbutz, and I got into my room, I pulled out my pants, and God is in Israel. I found out God is in Israel. My pants were totally dry. It was like a miracle from God. Leave it to Israel. They have God there.